All right, welcome everybody. It is Earth Day, April 22nd, 2020. What an amazing day to be alive on this planet. And I'm just delighted to share it all with you in this moment. I have just been feeling giddy all week long, like it's Christmas. I got a delivery of mulch yesterday. I just feel all the birds and angels singing all morning, so much joy in the air, celebrating our mother. And I just love her. I've just been feeling so full of love all morning for our Mother Earth. So if you're with me on that, drop a 1 in the comments. I've just really just been so touched at how she provides for us, how she nourishes us, the exquisite beauty she bestows upon us. And I've just been like in tears of joy, literally in my heart, for how much love I have for her. So yeah, it's a wonderful way to start the day. It's still morning here in Hawaii. I know people are tuning in from all over. We have 41 people here right now. Yay. And my name is Christina Amon, and I was really inspired to share today this particular. I just received a very clear message to deliver to all of you here today and beyond, anybody you want to share this recording with, how much partnering with Purium has been the most incredible way that I can be contributing to our Mother Earth, to this planet. And I have to tell you that when I got this message to share, there was a skeptic in me that was like, really? Even though I've been doing this for 3.5 years, been partnering with this amazing company, been sharing, been in this community, healing myself and other people with these superfoods and building up this incredible, beautiful, sustainable wealth, I still had the skeptical voice that was like, really? An online business is the best thing you can do for the earth. That was really, and I realized that that was the voice that was really strong when I first came in. That took me such a long time to open up to this. And I was like, oh, you're still there. Okay, great. Well, let's dive in. Let's see what's really there, because that's how we find the truth, right? So I've been a true earthling my whole life, just really love being in nature, feet and toes in the mud, lying in flowers, up in the trees, building forts, and happy to spend the night in them, sleeping anywhere on the earth all the time throughout my childhood, camping, running away, disappearing, all of it, like just love the earth. And as I came into high school and college, just got really into studying environmental sciences and getting out there and learning about like, wow, there's a lot of responsibility with this, really learning everything there is to learn, and then showing up in all the ways to show up, becoming an activist, being at tons of demonstrations, and this society that we live in and these issues and all of that. So as it started to really unfold in college, I was studying, I kind of eventually crafted my own major that was sustainable agriculture, community development, with an emphasis on environmental education, because I was just like deep in it. But I started to really get into a place of despair, because I was like, whoa, the multi-level corporations are swallowing the world. These systems are just totally whack. Like I was in a major that was just all problems and really no legitimate solution. And I remember one day like hitting this point where I was like, what am I even doing? And right at that same time, in my last year of college, this big biotech firm was actually buying out our College of Natural Resources within the greater UC Berkeley, which is like supposed to be this great institution of free thought and, free research. And here it was, a biotech company was going to buy out the research and the labs. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like there's no way out of this. What is going to happen? And I was sitting under a tree with my dear friend, Taylor Starr. And he was just like, permaculture is the solution. I was like, yes, that's it. We're going to stop fighting the old way. We're going to stop trying to tear down these like devouring monster systems, and we're going to build the new earth. So after college that summer, I spent in a permaculture certification design course. And I was like, decided, I'm going to get some piece of earth somewhere that's been damaged, so I can help restore and regenerate and really build up this oasis of fertility and abundance and be a place where people can come and gather and grow food and herbal medicine and all of that. And I was like, yes. And life took me to Hawaii, and my husband, and he had the same vision, and he had the land. And we started to just get really roots, you know, for me, because I grew up urban. So really getting in there and growing food. And I was just happy. I was like, yay, we're eating off the land, birthed our babies at home, and, you know, just swimming in the river and living the dream, right? Well, I'm a big visionary, and my dream was big. Like I saw, like, first of all, that what we saw for our land needed to sprout up all over the planet. And that even just our vision for our land was extremely expensive endeavor. Like it was okay for me to just hang out there and like grow my greens and eat my fruit and be like, okay, I'm complete. But I wasn't complete. We weren't able to create like any kind of sustainable income off of that. We certainly weren't able to create an abundance of income to build, you know, natural building structures and greenhouses and ponds. And, you know, we start with raw land, so fencing and roads and all the solar and the water infrastructure. And then we had dreams of the art studio and the bath temple and the other temple, and, you know, all of the ways that people would be able to come and heal and be educated, and for this place to really be a place where people could transform and go out and create more of this in the world. So the reality was we were living this ideal. And that's when I first started hearing about Purium. And as a permaculturist, I was like, why would this wasn't on my radar. Partnering with some other company, giving away my identity as a roots mama, you know, all of these things were big blocks for me. Importing superfoods from across the ocean, when I was like, I'm just going to grow my own. That was my whole path. And then this whole idea of an online business with, you know, computer and technology and social media, like it was just a big no first time I ever heard about it. So drop me a 2 if any of that is resonating for you. If you're new here, this is the first time and you're like, yeah, I don't know, you know, I get you. So that was my introduction. And as I started to watch what was happening with a couple of my friends involved, and I started to get honest with myself about my reality and not just my ideal. There was the dream and there was our life before kids. The reality was that the bills were piling up. Being able to cover the mortgage wasn't happening anymore. The expenses to doing all the development was just, you know, mounting. And just feeding a family of 4 is huge. So the reality was that we weren't able to pull it off. We didn't have the budget. People who do this have a budget. They have backers, they have investors, you know, some other system than just hope. You know, they have a quote that a dream without a plan is just a wish, but actually it can become a nightmare, because when you're dreaming that big and you don't have a way to make it happen, it was like burdening. I just felt like a fraud. So it was getting a little heavy in our life. Our health was being put on the back burner. Our connection with each other as husband and wife, with our kids, all of it was just not matching up to my dream anymore. The orchards were becoming overgrown, and we needed to look for a way to create income. So my husband, he went and created this brick and mortar with his brother, and it didn't exactly pan out to be the budget that was going to develop the farm. So that's when I took a closer look at Purium, and all of a sudden here was this solution. Here was a way to create wealth that was in alignment with my values. It allowed me to work when and from wherever I needed to. I leveraged my truth, my message, my friends, my network to to be a beacon, to invite people to take a closer look. And it was revolutionary. I hadn't come across that kind of economic structure before. It was cooperative. It came with this incredible community. It supported me in my personal development. It supported me in prioritizing self-care for the first time as a mom. If you're a mom and you can relate to that, drop a 3 in the comments. If you've, like, oh my gosh, when am I, like, I guess I'll wait till they're in college till I take care of myself, that's all woven into the fabric of what we have here. And that was amazing to me. So long story short, I started to build and create and starting to heal myself. So that was one of the first things that blew my mind, was that here I was, this organic farmer, mostly vegan, mostly raw, kind of going in and out of different eating styles and cleansing styles and all of that. But thinking, I'm doing pretty much everything I know how to do. I can't imagine these superfoods are really going to do that much for me. But I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand why at first, and we're going to get to hear from somebody shortly of why. But it was incredible. I got energy back as a mom. I felt light. I was able to spring out of bed in the morning feeling like all this little tiny bit of excess weight had dissolved into muscle, that I had this mental clarity and this emotional stability, and that I really had stepped into a whole new, actually a whole true version of who I am. And there was something about being backed and partnered with the owners of this company and the mission that they're on, that held me in a way that I had never been held yet in my journey. So from the day I decided I'm gonna permaculture, the world into a better place, it was a solo journey, just me and my husband. We were literally out there doing all the work ourselves. Like I said, didn't have investors or backers, trying to hustle to get money to okay, we got the fence in, we got the pigs out. All right. Never built a house. We lived in our temporary house for 12 years. All of those things, just trying to do anything to make it work, not very sustainable. So here I was being held, being shown a way, being brought to the precipice of my dreams, my purpose, and saying, we have a way for you to create this. And one of the owners, Dave Sandoval, the visionary, who's the formulator of these superfoods, he literally says, if you help me build my dreams, I will help you build yours. And what he means by that is that he has a dream. And the whole reason he even created this company is because he had a mother figure in his life who passed away from basically disease created by the standard American diet. And he was like, whoa, like that can't happen. He was heartbroken, and also saw that this is a huge, huge issue in our country, for one, but definitely even globally. So he made that decision to create a solution to the health or disease system, which it stems from our food system. And, you can do all your own research about how that is, and we're going to hear some more too, but basically him saying, how can I help the majority of Americans switch to a diet that is going to support wellness, because it's going in a completely different trajectory as far as, the majority of people. So he started really diving into studying deep nutrition and Ann Wigmore and like all these really great figures in the detoxification and nutrition world, these greens, like he wrote the Green Foods Bible, and just like this really deep connection with how food is truly our medicine. And so he formulated these superfoods. It's something that's accessible, it's deliverable, it can reach everywhere. Again, we're going to hear more about why they stand out as from any other superfoods company. And he is on a mission to really help heal our planet and support humanity to rise up in vibrancy and empowerment. And that's when he's like, if all of you people who are sharing this with your loved ones will help me with my dream, the company then compensates us, rewards us for sharing our stories with people through our program. And I'll talk more about the details of that at the end. So some of the things that, well, I'm actually going to turn it over at this point so we can hear some more story, because we're here for stories, and then I'll wrap us up. So I'm going to introduce my beautiful friend Rita here. She's going to fill in all her credentials, but she is a beacon of light and an extraordinary earthling. And thank you for being here with me today, Rita.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me, Christina. I love hearing your story and your stewardship. And I just wanted to start out by saying, yes, my name's Rita, and I come from the land where purple mountains jut out of the land like crystals. And I come from a place where glaciers melt into lakes that look like thousands of emeralds and are the colors of that. And I come from a land and a place where the water is so clear and so clean that you can see every pebble and every shape and every color. And where you walk through town and it's not uncommon to come face to face with a bear. So that's a little bit of where I come from. And since it's Earth Day, I just want to invite you all to take 2 seconds to think about your roots, to think about where you've come from. And how would you describe this place, this environment, or this town, or wherever it is, the city that you grew up in without words? So I come from Crested Butte, Colorado. It's one of the prettiest places I've ever been in my life. And that place raised me. The aspen trees raised me, the mountains raised me. And when I was a little kid, we lived in a teepee up in the aspens and up in the mountains throughout the summertime. And so I became a very avid environmentalist and activist before I even knew what environmentalism was. And it's because of that deep, rich connection to the earth and all that she gives us. And I would say that the earth has taught me everything I know, including from confidence. It's been a place of like zero judgment where I can just go and be myself, and also this place of upliftment, and also this place that teaches you who you truly are. And so the environment has impacted me deeply since a young age. And it's continued to follow me throughout my journey and been a huge part of my personal mission and my why and my message. So I first got into this regenerative journey actually through my own personal healing journey. And when I was 19, I was in a near fatal car accident. I wasn't supposed to survive. I actually passed away and chose to come back. And in choosing to come back, I realized that there is so much unconditional love. We have nothing to be afraid of as far as death goes on that subject. But when I came and chose to live, the doctors said, well, you won't do anything that you really love, such as your sports, and you may not be able to walk again, and expect to live in chronic pain for the rest of your life. And so I was crushed. My soul was crushed. I was like, but I haven't even gone surfing yet. Like, that's a dream of mine. Like, I haven't done all of these things or tried. Was really into dance and all of the activities like nature that I was, grew up in, from biking to mountain climbing to you name it. And so I chose that there must be another way. I wasn't going to accept that. And so on my journey, it took me 10 years to find a solution. And through that, I found regenerative healing. So now I am a regenerative detoxification specialist. I help people to heal in circumstances where they supposedly would not be able to heal from, or chronic conditions that are incurable, and really working with the natural principles of nature to reverse that. So I believe that we can heal ourselves at every level, and it starts at the cellular level. So that's my background, and that's what I do, and that's what I help people to do. And now I have zero pain, and I regrew my spine, and I'm able to do all the things that I love. And through that journey, I also studied and worked with regenerative agriculture and agroforestry, and traveled the world working with those things and growing fruit trees and planting. And I got to a point in my journey of such clarity and cleanliness that I realized that the food that was on our shelves at the grocery store was not feeding me or nourishing me. I felt that it was just completely void of nutrients, and I wasn't getting anything from it. So last year, I moved back to Colorado, to Salida, and I was in this point, it was the middle of winter, and I was like, what can I eat? Like, nothing is satisfying me. Like, I don't even know what to get. And it was at that point that an angel came into my life, who was my sister, and she introduced me to Purium. And I was watching her, and over a course of a few months, she completely transformed. She was a new mama, breastfeeding, feeling completely depleted, completely exhausted, zero sleep. And yet I'm watching her transform through this new modality of nutrition in her body. And I finally came up to her and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I haven't seen you this healthy since you were 16 years old. What are you doing? And not to mention, she was doing the business, and I was seeing her just completely transform and light up, and her posture and her confidence and all these other things changed. So I was like, okay, what are you doing? So I decided to try these nutrients for myself. And within 3 days of just drinking the Power Shake alone, I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing. Why is this so good? I'm not having any cravings anymore, you know? And I was trying just about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Will this satisfy me? No. Will this satisfy me? No. Okay. But this shake did. And all of a sudden I didn't have cravings for sugar or for breads or for anything. I was just feeling incredibly nourished, incredibly sustained. And then I started taking the Biomedic, which is really repairing our gut microbiome. And, you know, I'm an iridologist as well by profession. So I was studying my eyes. I was like, I want to see if this works. I want to see how it transforms me. And again, within a very short amount of time, about a week, I started to see all of this congestion in the bowels, which you can see through your eyes, just leaving. And this is deep, deep sulfur that I inherited from multiple generations. So lymphatic congestion is passed down from our mothers and our grandmothers, and we inherit it from multiple generations. And I was able to clean this out deeper than I'd been able to in a few years of really deep regenerative detoxification and healing. So I said, okay, there's something here. What is it? What's going on? And that's when I decided to dive into much deeper research. And I realized that Purium was working with regenerative principles to restore the soil, to add more nutrients to the soil than they're taking out. And this led me even deeper into my studies, working with Dr. Zach Bush and all these incredible people who are leading this regenerative movement. And I realized, wow, the health of our soil is so much. So currently in the States and all across the world, we're working with industrial chemical agriculture, meaning that it's monocropped and tons of chemicals are going in, including glyphosate. And 75% of our water, 75% of our air has glyphosate in it. And what that does is it kills our gut microbiome, and it kills the microbiome of the earth, the soil. And this impacts our mood and our immune function. And this impacts our endocrine health, which again affects our ability to navigate the world and our emotional well-being. So through all of this, I was like, okay, fine, light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. We need to heal our soils. We need to heal our earth. And we need to really start looking at this this glyphosate issue at a much deeper level. And so Purium became this spokesperson for me, this platform where I could really share my message and my intention of helping the earth and helping people to heal. And what's really inspiring is that, you know, people that who are my mentors, such as Zach Bush, he's a triple board certified physician, and he totally stopped doing his practice in his clinic and took it to healing the soils. And so that's what we're doing. And this is the only company I've found that has a solution for glyphosate and for really addressing that and pulling that out of the body so that we can function at our optimum vitality and well-being. And so going back to kind of some of my story, when I was growing up as a kid, I grew up on growing organic food. I grew up just having a deep passion and care for the environment. And even as a broke college student, I wouldn't buy non-organic foods because I knew what the impact that had on the farmer and on their families. And so, not saying that everybody has to do that, but it spoke really deeply to me. Like, it would almost make me cry thinking of that impact. And now we're seeing that farmers have one of the highest rates of suicide, chemical farmers, because there's no way to sustain that model or that system, and that their families are being impacted by cancers and autisms and all kinds of things. And it's a huge weight on their shoulders. So part of my mission is in supporting organic farmers and really making sure that we are healing, putting an input of healthy food into our body that is also impacting the environment in a really positive way. And so as we move to more regenerative farming methods, sustainable farming methods, organic farming methods, which is what Purium does, but as we move that way as a community, as a culture, then we're not only making ourselves healthier by getting the important vitamins and minerals and nutrients that we need, but we're restoring our soils, and our soils are our biggest resource. We're restoring our water. That's our biggest resource. We're restoring our natural ecosystems. We're creating, ways for all of the carbon to create a carbon sink. So much happens in this movement, and being able to be a spokesperson for this is so powerful for me. And Purium is really what lit my light and brought me back to my passion of like, yes, there's a lot of problems in the world. There's a lot of things going on, and there's solutions, and there's something that we can do about it. And each of us can do something, what all of our small little choices on a daily basis, whether we're choosing to vote with our dollar, whether we're choosing to plant gardens, whether we're choosing to share education and information, this has a huge ripple effect outward into the world. And so when I was introduced to Purium as a business, it was so new for me. It was something I'd never done. I'd never even known really how network marketing worked or any of it. And I realized like the way that this company is doing it is so beautiful, because we're working in a really sustainable model, in a sustainable way, where I was getting completely burnt out doing my health profession, working in other jobs, and just not having enough time to focus on what I'm really passionate about, what I really care about, and make a bigger impact in the world. And so I got into this as a means to create time freedom and to create an income that is in alignment with all of my values, to share more goodness with the world. And the way that it works, working together in this way, you have a candle and you light that to somebody else's candle, and then they light that to somebody else's candle, and they light that to somebody else's candle, and suddenly you have this beautiful movement of awareness and education and people getting healthy. That's just incredibly powerful, versus me just trying to share my message on my own and only able to impact the people that I can see in a daily basis within a matter of hours that are in a day. So I just feel like this has been a solution for me at every single level, and I'm really grateful for it. And then just finding this community of empowerment and people that are activists and environmentalists and stewards who care about the earth, who care about the health of our climate and the health of each other has been really amazing for me. And, you know, I'll pass the mic back over to Christina, but I just want to kind of summarize it all up and just say, like, we're only as healthy as our ecosystems. And so what we can do as individuals to support the health of our ecosystems and our community and our food consumption and the companies we support and our lifestyles and our, you know, all of it really ends up making a huge, huge difference. And I know we're all feeling that right now with COVID right now, and all of us being at home and seeing that when the ecosystem gets off, that impacts our health so greatly. So my mission is like inner and outer ecosystems restored, and sharing a modality that creates freedom in people's lives so that they can live their passions and their dreams. Yeah, so.
Awesome. Thank you, Rita. Yeah, this call here is really about supporting good people doing good work on the earth to get paid well for it. That's really what it all comes down to. And there's so many of all of you. There's 71 people here right now. It's so awesome. And go ahead and check your mute. And there's so many people out there, like you heard my story, you heard Rita's story, all of you have a story. There are people who looked at the issues in the world and said, I'm going to become the artist who's going to bring beauty to the world. I'm going to be the healer who's going to bring healing to the world. I'm going to be the teacher. I'm going to be the activist. I'm going to be the parent. You know, there's so many ways that we followed our soul calling to show up to be the solution in the world. However, in our current economic structure, we are not necessarily supported to show up in that role. And that's where Purium has been a solution for so many people. And if you're one of those people, drop a 4 in the comments. That's what we're really here to do today, is to say, if you're relating to this, if you are here to do good work in the world and you want to be held and you want to be supported and you want to be able to use that model of leverage that Rita talked about to get your message out, to get your impact out. So here I was trying to build this healing center from scratch by myself with my husband. And, you know, that hasn't gone anywhere. And yet I've been able to help thousands of people on their healing journey by leveraging Purium. And I've been able to build up an income stream that literally prevented us from having to sell the farm. That's where we were at that time, where that seemed to be the only realistic solution. Sell the farm, simplify, downsize. We were like, no. We were like, yes, keep going with the dream. So Purium offers a way to help you build your dreams, and I'm going to break down really quickly what that looks like. So if you are feeling in alignment with the values of this company, and this is, you know, Dave and Amy, both of the owners, are just incredibly heart-centered people, completely rooted in their passion for the earth, for humanity. I could go on for 2 hours of stories of how these earth stewards show up in this planet. I'll just name one, is how they outbid Monsanto for rice farms in Thailand that Monsanto was going to take over and turn into GMO rice. And they bought it up, and they were just these family rice farms. They couldn't hold on to it anymore because of the way that globalization has changed the economy. And not only did they certify the rice so that certify it organic, so it became the first organic rice bran solubles in the international market, and that goes into our superfoods. It kept these farmers in helping to, you know, continue to be organic farmers, and they opened up an orphanage to support and channeled wealth into supporting, helping divert and prevent women and children from going into the sex trafficking industry, which is what a lot of people's economic solution was turning into in Thailand. So that's just one of many humanitarian and environmental ways that this company shows up and walk their talk. And they're completely mission driven. They're not doing it for profit. They're doing it for being the solution that our planet needs. So how does that work? If you're like, I'm in, like I'm resonating with this. Or if you have questions, first of all, we're going to open up for questions after this. But if you, and you can also learn more, we have plenty of links, websites, videos to, just dive in and just really feel if you feel that resonance. And if you do, the way that it works is you get with a person who brought you here and they have a gift code, a discount to share with you. And you enroll by getting your brand partner pack. And this is what allows you to be that candle lighter. So you get to go around and share with other people, and we have all the training and mentorship in the world to support you in sharing your authentic story from your heart with your people, with your network. And that's one-on-one, that's on social media, and it's done in a very tasteful, very authentic way, so that we can just see who out there is looking for this. And your brand partner pack this month is free when you get your transformation pack. So you heard both me and Rita talk about this transformation. It's basically a 30-day bundle of superfoods, and you can use it in different ways. We can get with the person who brought you to get a link to learn more in depth about how the transformation works and how the superfoods work. Somebody could even type in the comments a link, but basically our team has a link to learn all about this, which is just superfood.social. So www.superfood.social, and you can expand your learning in all of this. So you get your ultimate lifestyle transformation, and we just so happen to be about to launch a whole group transformation. So get with a person who brought you. You can do your spring cleaning of your body temple, flood your body with superfoods, bring your friends and loved ones and network and colleagues and everything in to do it with you. You can be in profit in a week or 10 days, already made back your investment with a really, really powerful system, and have launched a business for free, where you're supporting people to heal, you're supporting yourself to heal, and you're growing basically a regenerative wealth platform for yourself, for your dreams, for your purpose, so that you can be funded to show up in the way that you're meant to show up, so that you can have real financial freedom, something that our current economic structure is not offering. But within this model, it's possible. And it's an incredible community. And we get paid to share our story and to make friends with people. And with that being said, I think that there's enough there for you to chew on that. And we're going to end the recording.